Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. You know, some people think scones sounds really fancy and maybe a difficult thing to make, but it's not. It's pretty darn easy, and they're a wonderful thing to have for tea or for coffee. You know, if you're just hungry and you want a little snack, they are just great. And a lot of people make them, you know, from a bowl, you know, where they cut the butter in that way and make them by hand. But we're going to make it even easier today. We're going to make them in the food processor. In the bowl of my food processor here, I have some unbleached white flour, all-purpose flour, perfect. And I'm going to now add, there was my oven telling me it was preheated at 400 degrees. Don't forget to do that right off the bat. Now what I have in here is some baking powder, baking soda, and a little salt. And that's going to go in to this bowl of my food processor. And I'm going to just turn this on just to whisk it together. It's not going to be difficult. A few pulses there. And that's all we need to do there. And now I'm going to add a little granulated sugar, and that's going to go in. And again, I'm just going to give that a little spin. Now, I have some icy cold butter, and I've cut it into little cubes. As you can see, they're about ½ inch cubed, and very cold though. Got to have it nice and cold. In fact, once you have it cut, you might want to stick it in the freezer for a few minutes until you're ready to use it. And that's what I did. I cut it up very cold, and then I placed it in the freezer, for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes as I was kind of getting things together here. So we're going to spread that out like so. And then what I'm going to do is just pulse this until it looks like a crumble. And it shouldn't take very long. I'll start it up and I'll bring it back when it is in that crumbly state that we want. So here it is, and really, I don't even know why I turned the video off, because it took so little time. But as you can see here, it's almost like, well, it's almost like cornmeal, really. It's a very nice, fine, pulsed. There's no big chunks in there. In fact, I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see this. I don't want you to miss it. As you can see there, it's still very well cut up. Now I'm going to put my lid back on. I'm going to take my top off so I can feed things through the chute. I have some milk here, and what I did with this milk is I put a little bit of vinegar in there so we get kind of a buttermilk thing. Scones love buttermilk. If you don't have that, or if you do have buttermilk, that's super. But if you don't worry about it. You can just use plain milk. And I'm going to put a touch of vanilla in that milk. And I'm going to get this started. And in fact, I need to do this and use my little hole here. There we go. And I want this to just form a ball. And I'll keep you here so you can see how quickly that'll happen. So here we go. We're going to stop there, and I cut the noise so you wouldn't hear it. You know how food processors are. Okay, I'm going to get my food processor out of the way, and I'll be right back. I'll show you inside the bowl here. So it's very put together, as you can see. So I'm putting this out on a very lightly floured board here, my counter, and I'm just going to kind of just put it together. Maybe knead it just a little bit because I want it to be a nice firm mass, because we're going to pat this out and we're going to cut it. I'm going to just keep working this a little bit until we get a nice firm established ball I should say. Okay, now we're going to, still needs a little bit there. I don't want to overwork it, but we need to make sure it's not going to crumble as it's baked. And I need about 6-7 inch round here, because we want it about ½ inch thick, so those scones will be nice and high. And I think I'm going to think I'm going to make that about 7 inches there. Okay. How's that look? Very nice. I'm going to get a knife. And I'm just going to start cutting. I'm going to cut down the center here. And then I'm going to cut one here. And I'm going to cut one here. And then we're going to cut these in half. And then we will have 8. So there's 2. 4. Oh, these feel so nice, really. Very light. Nice buttery. I can feel that nice buttery thing going on in there. So right now I have brought in a baking sheet and I have it lined with a parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you know, a little squirt of your spray or a light buttering will do. And we're going to just place these out here on this baking sheet, leaving a little space between them. So, and I have a little milk here. If you were really fancy, you could use cream, but I've just got some milk. So I'm just going to brush the tops with just a little bit of milk. Whoops, I made a mess there, didn't I? And as I said, I have a preheated oven at 400 degrees, and that's what they're going to go in. All right, we are ready to put these in the oven. Now I have my rack in the oven, just about the center, position, and they'll go in, and I'm going to give them, well, about 20 minutes. But I will start checking them about 18. Everyone's oven is different, of course, but you really want a nice, rich golden brown on these, and just keep checking them. If they're too pale, give them a few more minutes. And if you really feel like you want to make sure they're done, you could do a toothpick test, like we do with quick bread. You put that toothpick down the center. If it comes out a little doughy, you might want to give it, a minute or 2 longer. But really, the color is going to tell you when they're done. So once these are baked off and they're out of the oven, I'll be back. Well, they're out of the oven, and boy, do they look good. Let me give you a little shot of these here so they don't fall off my plate. Oh.
What is that heavenly aroma?
Smells pretty good, doesn't it? Mm. You're here for sampling.
Ooh, yeah.
These are my scones.
This works for me.
These are my scones, so I want you to go ahead and take a taste. I'm glad you, what do you think of that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Good? Oh, it smells wonderful, doesn't it? How are they?
Wow.
Good?
Mm. Oh, man.
Mmm. Mmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's like dessert all by itself.
It is. Very rich. Mm-hmm. The
Rich,
texture is
buttery,
wonderful. Mm-hmm.
Fluffy.
Fluffy. And that crust on the outside is so crisp. I'm going to see if you can see in there. Mm. The texture is beautiful.
Well, I'll see you later.
And they're delicious.
Oh, that is
They're
good.
really delicious. So actually what I'm doing with these is I'm making them into a strawberry shortcake.
If they last that long.
They will. Cut one of them open, do the strawberry shortcake thing on top. So that's what I'm going to do with these. And then the rest of them can go in the freezer. They'll last up to like a month. They won't last here for a month.
It may not last a day.
But they will last, and then we can pull them out and heat them up. And we'll have some, yeah, definitely.
Those are the best scones you ever made.
They're really good.
Oh, yeah.
They're really good. All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming by. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.